You are listening to Parking Lot Perspectives with Darren and Evan.
And we are back. Welcome back to Parking Lot Perspectives, or as we like to call this,
Couchside Perspectives.
Couchside Perspectives. So we are on episode 6 of the Traitors that is on the Peacock Network. So again, we've had a lot of feedback with people saying, hey, how do I see this? Peacock might be one of those streaming services you might want to invest in. They got some cool shows. They do a lot of reality shows.
Speak for yourself, Darren.
Yeah. So, just so you know, that's what we got. So before we even kick it off, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow us, share with your friends. So we can get
We're
some.
almost at that 100.
We're almost at that 100. We said we'd do it.
Marker is almost there.
So, episode 6 of the Traitors. This was the best round table of the entire series so far.
Yes.
Even better than when Boston Rob went after Bob the Drag Queen. This was,
unbelievable.
As Jana, Evan's wife, says, reality TV gold. This was reality TV.
It was incredible, and this is probably the first season I've ever seen the most dysfunctional Traitors ever. I mean, this is the first season you've ever seen.
Correct.
There's a UK version, US. I've never seen the Traitors this bad, dysfunctional.
They are not friends of each other at all. I don't know what's going on.
But we'll get into it. Why don't you tell everyone?
Why don't you?
No.
Kick it off.
I like this.
Okay.
Why don't you kick it off?
So, we start off the episode, you see the Traitors are in the cupola, and right off the bat, you might remember that Danielle had been talking about Carolyn, so Carolyn goes right at Danielle, says, hey, you're coming for me, you want me banished, oof. And Rob's like, stop, we're all supposed to be working together. Evan's right, this is the most dysfunctional group of people. Keep in mind, everyone watching or listening, this whole show is about deceit, lying, and manipulation. So
I'm going to put a clip up.
Unbelievable.
It's important to share like the before, right? When the first were Traitors, they introduce Rob. He takes his hood off. They're all smiling.
Yeah.
This time, it's like they take the hoods off and they don't even want to be in the same room.
I mean, Carol, that was at least 10 to 15 seconds of just them staring at each other. Because Boston Rob was voted on by Danielle. Carolyn voted for Danielle. Danielle wants Carolyn gone.
And Rob.
Carolyn even says, I only want to murder 2 people, and it's you 2. I mean, she says it to her fellow Traitors. There's no... And again, for those of you watching, I'm guessing most of you that are listening and watching this, you've seen the Traitors. Those that are not, remember, either the Traitors get the money at the end, or the faithful get the money and then they split it. So, wow, that's just incredible. So, it came down to who they're going to get rid of. They talked about it, and it was talked about whether it's Bob H. or Ivar.
And possibly Wes.
Rob
was pushing Wes because he feels threatened by him. But I laughed because he hates Ivar.
Ivar is filler TV. Him and Sam are both just filler.
You forget Sam's on the show. I have to put a photo up for everyone listening and watching because I forgot that he was on the show.
He has no value. So, so we get past and we see who comes into the breakfast table. Everyone but Bob
Harper.
Gone.
The gentleman that Darren was talking about the last couple episodes. He made it up the hill, but he is no longer in that castle.
That's right. I was 1 episode off of him being voted, or him being, murdered or whatever. So I was only 1 off. So I feel pretty good about that. But
they had the clip of him. Of course, he was crying.
As Evan said, from treadmill to dead still is the line that Ellen used.
I'm going to put that up. That was awesome, too.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. The breakfast table, I don't know what they do over in Scotland. I mean, I've been there a few times. But they show Tom eating a handful of prosciutto, like just shoving it in his mouth. Oh, he is.
What's the word? Awkward.
Awkward.
Very awkward. He's just, the camera work on him is just every time his eyes are bug-eyed. I'm going to put that up. It's nuts.
Yeah. So Tom immediately starts talking about it's Dolores. He thinks it's Dolores. That's
he's always wrong.
Man.
He's always wrong.
One of the worst in the game, and he tells Brittany that, Dolores has got to go. She's the issue.
Yeah.
Even though she had a shield. Her and Sierra were safe, so they couldn't have been voted off. But but then Derek. Derek, Evan told me at the start of this, that Derek in real life is a detective. And for those of you watching this episode, you're going to see him.
He is good.
Woo!
It's almost as if he had the script. He was at the round table. There, we'll get to that.
All scripted.
But well, I know you think it's completely scripted, but he definitely doesn't know what's happening. He guessed well. He is onto it, and we'll go into that.
Yeah.
So Bob H goes. We get to the game, right? So the game pretty much was interesting, right? I tell Darren this. It changes every single episode, which is unique, right? A lot of reality shows like Survivor, The Challenge, they'll do the same type of elimination games. Traitors, they've been doing some different ones, and I thought this was pretty cool.
They had to go find different crates with gunpowder, and they had to come back and fill it in this barrel and blow up like a 20-foot tall traitor, which I told Evan, which apparently he's not a Princess Bride fan.
Put this up.
But I did send him the picture of Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride when he has the big cape on, and it looked just like that. I think it's a good Princess Bride call out there. But so the whole thing was, Alan Cumming tells them they have to there's a shield in each one of their camps. So they're split up in groups like 4 or 5. They all have to go, and they have to open up these crates.
There's 17 of them.
Yeah.
And there's 20 total.
Yep. So and there's 3 shields that will protect people, 1 in each crate. And all of them would not say who got the shield.
Yeah, so the couple different groups, they each found the crate with the shield. Alan, they did a segment with Alan. He's like, are they gonna go for the gunpowder?
Right.
They just worry about themselves. They're not worried about the money at this point. But yeah, they all find it, and I thought that was pretty cool. That they all kind of came to that agreement, like, hey, we're not gonna say who has the shield. But the first crate, Tom, weirdo Tom, he answers the question. He was ready to go in, grab that shield, and Caroline goes right in, grabs it right from him, and I'm going to show a clip. He was pissed. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then Derek is the second box. Derek finds the shield, and he immediately is like, hey,
here's my case.
Yeah, here's my case, and I've never had a shield. And they're all like, nah, rock, paper, scissors.
And we find out that Dylan Efron is a world championship rock, paper, scissors player.
Yeah, because he found the third, and he dominated. He beat
Boston
Rob, and
So we forgot to mention, they have a chance to get $30,000 on this to add to their total.
Yeah. So they have the 3 shields, and then the game starts. They finally like, oh, we got to get the money. So they actually pull it together. The editing, they had it done probably 10 minutes before the timer actually ran to 0. But they all made it. There's a clip of Rob looking like he's out of shape, trying to make it to the end, because they all have to stand in the circle with Alan hitting the button. And lo and behold, they got enough gunpowder.
Yeah, what's interesting, I asked Evan, why are they wearing protective eyewear?
Oh, that's a good call.
I was like, why? Everyone was. Well, come to find out, Sierra answered one of the questions wrong on one of the crates with gunpowder, and this little poof blew up in front of them. So that's why they were wearing glasses. So good news is they got $30,000. Or now the whole pot, they've added $100,000 onto the entire prize kitty. So they have $350,000 right now. So
not bad.
Not bad at all. So they all come back from the challenge, and everyone just starts going.
That's it. That's why the show's great.
I
love seeing your face when it's like, oh, all right, who's gonna go where?
It is a show that is just every moral fiber of my body is like, these people just lie. They don't care. And we'll get to the end. So everyone's planting seats for everyone else. Carolyn finds out that Danielle, even though she said she wasn't going to go after her, has really talked to people about going after her. Wes makes a big push for Boston Rob, but no one bigger than Derek.
Derek, the detective.
Wow.
The detective Derek, he is on Rob. His biggest thing was, he was so adamant to get Bob the drag queen out. His thing was, if Rob is there the next morning, he is a traitor, right? Because traitors would be fearful of a faithful that's onto them that quick. So the fact that he woke up and he was fine, he was going Rob no matter what.
So let's jump right to the round table. The round table, it starts off with...
It's great.
Dolores talking about Tom. I mean, basically just pulls him on the carpet and is like, hey, you voted for me. What the hell? And then Derek can we just get to the point? And he, again, he's a detective in real life. He puts together exactly what is going on with Boston Rob. I mean, to the T.
He points to Alan. He goes, Alan probably brought him in as a traitor. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. Derek made a case like would stand up in any courtroom in the United States.
Yeah.
For Boston Rob being gone. I mean, it was a very well delivered speech to garner everyone's attention. Then, while that happens, Boston Rob makes. But the thing about Boston Rob is he doesn't break. You said it. He doesn't break.
He's got that stone face.
Yeah, stone face, and when he delivers, you don't see his nerves. Master manipulator, and then he turns it on Wes.
And then Wes, not as seasoned as Rob when it comes to trying to defend himself. He looked nervous. I think the problem with Wes's game, he didn't really develop a good relationship with a lot of the women on this season.
Two things. One, he did show his emotion. Like Boston Rob stayed stone-faced. You couldn't tell anything. Wes, however, made a comment to everybody, and it was more directed at the women.
Yeah.
But he said, I'm going to come after all of you.
Yeah. I have my eye on you.
Yeah, I have my eye on you. And then everyone's like, what do you mean by that? Right. And you could immediately see the whole room.
And you know who else was aggravated? Derek. Derek saw him digging himself in.
No, sorry, I disagree. I think Derek was pissed off because it took attention away from Rob.
Right, but it's making Wes look even more guilty.
Yeah. But I do think he was frustrated because it was like, I got Boston Rob.
Yeah.
And then Wes is like, oh shit, I've not made a great case. Yes. And Jana called it. She watched the episode with us. She's like, that did not win over the female vote. I will tell you, it was a very uncomfortable line. And at the very end, it comes down to Wes being voted and Boston Rob, and Sierra's got the final vote, and she votes Wes. And her point was, your comment about coming after me, I was very uncomfortable with.
Yeah, and that's critical.
Yeah.
Critical. Rob was feeding on that as well, right? He saw the weakness there with Wes. His defense was probably the best thing I've ever seen.
That was unbelievable, because what's funky about it for everyone listening is Danielle voted for Boston Rob to go. Carolyn voted for Danielle. So all the traitors are screwed up.
All the traitors are a mess.
Yeah, a huge mess. So Wes goes home. Wes gets in the singer in the center.
We're going to put that clip up. He just tells everyone to go fuck themselves.
It is a reality TV goal. Wes basically tells, I hate every of you. I don't like you. Your chess pieces on a board. I will tell you that, wow, it was awesome. But so everyone goes back. They're like, oh my gosh. Derek then says to Brittany, why are you sucking up to Boston Rob?
Like you're defending him.
Yeah, you're defending him. Why? Because you're a traitor. And she's like, what? But then it goes around. But then we end up in the cupola at the very end. And they had to have edited it. Because that was at least 10 to 15 seconds of just them staring at each other. Because Boston Rob was voted on by Danielle. Carolyn voted for Danielle. Danielle wants Carolyn gone.
And Rob.
And you hear Boston Rob say, trust me, I'm not. And then you hear Danielle, I swear. And they're all lying. It is the hardest thing for me to watch. I told Evan, I don't know how I could be in a room where everybody is lying to me. Maybe I've been my whole life and I just haven't known it.
I'm lying to you right now.
That's right. So that was the end of the episode. I will tell you, the best round table of the season so far. I mean, you had, when Boston Rob went after Bob the drag queen, I thought it was very good. It was very direct. But this one, Evan, Jan, and I were like, we don't know who's going to go. I mean, it was so sporadic.
And that's another thing. I know you're not big on reality shows. The editing, they make it obvious sometimes. You know who's going to go home. You're like, all right, I'm watching Survivor. All right, that person's gone. This, they really don't tell you. They leave it up to maybe top 2 or 3, but they did it perfect. Yeah. This was a great round table.
So, who's going home on your next episode? Who do you think?
I think it's one of the traitors. I mean, I'm leaning, I said it last time, I was wrong, but Danielle. Danielle now has 2 traitors against her. This call...
Woo! So let's, as we always do, because Jana started it, who do we think is going home next week?
So who's going to get banished?
Who's going to get banished, eliminated? Yeah, the next.
No,
murdered overnight.
Oh, murdered overnight.
Or who goes home? Just who do you think's going home?
Well, I'm going to start with the banish. I believe it's going to be a traitor. They are really showing that Danielle is digging her own grave. She voted Rob, and Rob now has Caroline, who hates Danielle. So Danielle did not do herself any favors voting Rob. That was a horrible move. And I think Danielle's going to go.
But who do you think's going to go overnight to not come into breakfast?
If Rob and them are smart, they're not going to kill Derek, because that's way too obvious.
Agree 100% on that one.
I'm thinking Sam, like a burn vote, because again, I forget he's even on the show. But if they pick someone like that, Derek, if they don't kill Derek, Derek thinks he's getting killed.
Yep.
If he wakes up and he's fine, he might change his tune and move away from Rob maybe this next episode.
Yep, good call. So I'm saying that the person that's going to get murdered overnight, I still stick with Ivar. I think that they see that he's useless. Him or Sam, I think.
You hate this guy.
He's just... But I do think in the roundtable next, I think it's a really good call. Derek shouldn't go, and Derek might jump on the Rob train. So after that, I think Tom might be the one to go. I think people are done with his BS. Okay. So, you all subscribe, click, follow, share. Give us your feedback. We're coming back next week. We hope you can join us. Don't forget to tell your friends. Give us some feedback. Any closing comments?
All I got to say is, if you are listening and you haven't seen this show and you're kind of just getting it from us, you have to watch it, right? I mean, there's other seasons. But for those who are watching it or are tuning in, you're listening, put what you think, who you think's going to go home.
Great call.
Right, we want to talk about these things as well and shout you out. So.
Yep. Yeah, by the way, give us a comment to Evan's point. Tell us who you think's going home, and we'll bring up your name.
In episode 7.
Episode 7. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye, guys.